Yeah, this don't be that OMAROSA stuff. So, real or fake, y'all, let me know. Let's go for it.
OMAROSA Manigault Newman has been on NBC and CBS and PBS and repeatedly on MSNBC pushing her book denouncing President Trump as unhinged and rolling out one secretly recorded tape after another, such as this one, with the president after John Kelly fired her in the Situation Room.
OMAROSA, what's going on? I just saw in the news that you're thinking about leaving. What happened?
General Kelly came to me and said that you guys wanted me to leave.
You know, they run a big operation, but I didn't know it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn it. I don't love you leaving at all.
She called him a liar for pleading ignorance of her dismissal, and the president responded.
Okay. Now, I had this situation. Sometimes it was right, sometimes it's wrong. And I got to be honest with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Links is in the description. Please debate me if you think I'm wrong. But this is the God's honest truth. You know, he kind of messed up his own, you know, how we say in the hood, the script. But she was right for calling him out on it to a certain extent. Listen. Shut your mouth up. You got offered $15,000 a month to take a job somewhere else and not really be part of the administration. That's $180,000 a year. If you look at my buddy JB Gunner's video on the breakdown of marriages and the different incomes of black and whites and all the other things, it's one of his latest videos, so y'all should go by and check it out. Hit him up, JB Gunner TV. You will see that's $180,000. And you just have 6, maybe 7 brothers that I think the income for a black man by itself is somewhere between 25,000 unmarried. So 25 goes into 160. Ooh wee. You got what, 7, 8 times? 4 for the 100? Well, 6. 6 dead times. That's 6 African American males that could be working that job. And it goes back to that point about what Obama did versus what Trump is doing and how the job market is working out for the blacks. And it's looking real good. So just wanted to make that point and just to let y'all know in context what it is. Oh, and by the way, this is fair use. Fair use, y'all. Fair use.
By saying the fake news media will be working overtime to make even wacky OMAROSA look legitimate as possible, and also by calling his former aide a crazed, crying lowlife and a dog.
The president called you a dog this morning. What's your reaction? I think that it just shows you that if he would say that publicly, what else would he say about me privately? He has absolutely no respect for women, for African Americans.
Joining us now here.
No. This is what I hate. When you have beef with somebody else, doesn't mean it's racist, doesn't mean anything. What that means is just you have beef with that individual, and you need to address that and work on it. I don't understand it, how you made that into a black person thing. I think she's trying to get her black card back. Until you lose your job, you realize he's a racist guy. You know, it's the same thing that happened with a bunch of people, you know. All of a sudden, you just frown. And like I say, it's like your mommy and your grandma told you, especially if you were born in the 70s, hell has no fear like a woman's storm. So, hey, let's get back into it, y'all. I know, yeah, one more time, fair use.
Here in Los Angeles, Newsbeat, Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of DailyWire.com and a syndicated radio host and columnist. Christina Bellatoni, a former LA Times editor who now runs the Media Center at USC's Annenberg School of Communication. And Adrian Elrod, a Democratic strategist who's been attending a lot of Hollywood parties here. Ben, a number of anchors have challenged OMAROSA at times in these interviews, but at the same time, they are giving her a huge platform to condemn the president she wants praise. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, she's getting strange new respect that accrues to anybody who's inside the administration, then leaves the administration and bashes the administration. And that's not particularly surprising. I mean, she's a story, obviously, but when half of the conversation is about a tape that doesn't exist or may not exist or we have no evidence of existing, that's where he starts getting into troubling waters. Because the fact is, what she says that she heard, that's news. What she says that she has on tape, that's news. But it's not really news when you say that you may have heard that there may be a tape at some point that you may have heard, and then this becomes the cause of conversation for an entire week.
I agree with you fully particularly on the last point. Are much of the media just sort of irresistibly drawn, not just to the drama of former Apprentice star for senior White House aide now turning on her former boss, but also kind of embracing her anti-Trump narrative?
I mean, that's part of it, right? But if anybody thinks it's surprising that Omarosa is getting attention, wasn't paying attention in 2004 when she was on the very first season of The Apprentice. This is someone who...
But that was a reality show.
Sure, and she's got first name only status. It became a huge headline when she joined the White House to begin with. So, of course, this is going to continue to draw up headlines. The president is feeding into that as well. So this is one of the things she knows how to do. She knows how to be provocative. She knows how to command attention. And she's even had a very orchestrated rollout of it. Well, here's this tape I'm going to play on this show, and here's this tape that I'm going to play on this show. And she's, in command of this, and she's trying to sell books. I think we need to be frank that this is partly a commercial enterprise.
I'm going to guess that she's been successful at that. A highly orchestrated rollout. And just this morning on MSNBC, she said, I believe Trump wants to start a race war. But to what extent, Adrian, has Trump's fuselage of insults against her, particularly the dog, the crazy, and the wacky, and all that, have they kind of boosted this story into the stratosphere, whereas otherwise it might have run out of gas after 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, of course, and I think maybe that's what President Trump is trying to do, right? He's
trying to get more attention to the
Well, I think he's trying to discredit her, and he's doing that in a very demeaning way. But look, typically somebody like this would not, a disgruntled staffer would not get this kind of coverage, right? The difference here is that Omarosa has known President Trump for 15 years. She's got tapes. Is a drip, drip, drip. Let's not forget when John Podesta's emails during the 2016 campaign were being released every day. That was such a media spectacle, right? The media was covering it like it was breaking news every single day.
I'm not saying
this is not too dissimilar.
It's a big story. The question is, why is it such a big story, and why is she able to?
Because she has tapes, emails, and evidence, text messages that she's willing to drip, drip, drip out.
Well, Ben, when journalists say they have her on, they say, well, why did you say such great things about him all those years? And she says, oh, I was complicit, I had a blind spot, but now I'm seeing the light. Do you think she's
magical? Funny how that works, right? As soon as she's fired, then she finally realizes that she had a blind spot.
Okay. I agree with Ben Shapiro. I think it was wrong for that transsexual to threaten him on national TV and then later tweet she was going to curb stomp him. I get that. I'm cool with that. I don't always agree with what he says. He's a white nationalist. It's all good. I'm good. But my thing is this here. How is it that you can, like you said, be cool with them when you're getting paid? And then, here's the bad thing. She had a chance to still get paid another $15 grand a month. Just chill out. You want to write books, you want to backstab, you want to do all this stuff, and think about it. She can try to get her black card back and all this other stuff everybody else is trying to say and not say, but is that not going to cost the American people, her getting her black card back? And we ain't talking about a black card that, that you spend so much money daily that, you don't have no limit on. We talking about a black card, as a race pass type thing. It's getting crazy, y'all. Check it out.
She's kind of getting a pass on that.
Of course she is.
Kind of stock answer.
Of course. I mean, the media are treating her with a great deal of respect when this is a woman who's been fired more often than an M4 in Anbar Province, right? I mean, she's fired twice by the Clinton administration, 3 times on The Apprentice, and now once by Trump. And undoubtedly, if she says something nice about him, he'll hire her back and then fire her again. So, I don't think that we've seen the last of her, but...
There could be a season 4, season 6,
well, I mean, season 3 of Trump is awesome, and the writers this season are fantastic, but I think that her guest starring appearance will not end here. She'll probably come back in a couple of seasons.
And not every single journalist is saying she's great. great, and here's her platform. I mean, April Ryan has been very prominently talking about her, saying, like, don't use my name in all of this because, I have done some serious reporting on this matter.
Right. But, these tapes, and look, if she has actual tapes, and that's clearly news, and she has scribbled them out in very strategic fashion. But I haven't seen many question, the tapes are very selective. Are they being run together? Are they being edited?
This is her best stuff. I mean, really? Yeah. Like, the tapes that we've seen are her being fired, and then Lara Trump offering her money to join the campaign.
Which she describes as hush money.
Okay, well, you can describe it however you want, but it's Lara Trump. It's not even one of the famous Trumps.
But usually, if you leave an administration, you join a campaign, it's kind of expected that you're not going to say terrible things about the potential candidate.
Generally, what we don't know about whatever tapes may or may not exist. We have to think about it. We all work in television, and we know that the cameras are always on, microphones are always on. Yeah. We've seen Bill O'Reilly get caught in, unflattering moments because somebody saved that footage. I mean, it is entirely possible that there are things out there that make everyone look incredibly, put everybody in an incredibly unflattering light.
What about Ben's point, Adrian, that the one tape that is getting the most attention is the one tape that we have no idea whether it exists, and it's basically a lot of speculation. And she's even given conflicting accounts of whether she heard it and someone else heard it and told her, but some people have denied that. The alleged N-word tape, if it comes out, then it's a huge story, but right now, nobody's got any evidence of it.
Right. I think I think there are plenty of people in the media who do want to keep this going because it is good for television. It is, again, a disgruntled staffer who has known President Trump for a long time is coming out and making these allegations. But I do agree. I mean, eventually this tape's either got to come out or we need to stop talking about it and giving it the oxygen that she's trying to.
So we have a rare consensus on that. Right.
Yeah.
So does anyone care that she's a turncoat, or is that just sort of help?
Hey, is it my imagination, or is old girl like a horse face? I don't know. Let me see.
Help the reality TV style storyline.
I mean, I thought that was actually her WWE role here. Was to be the turncoat, and she's the heel. She's doing the turn. So that's not any shock. But what is kind of surprising, I wouldn't say surprising, but what is, I guess, predictably annoying, is that so many members of the media are willing to drive a race narrative from everything that she's saying. So President Trump, for example, when he says dog, and everybody goes, well, that's a racial thing because he says dog. President Trump has called legitimately half the United States dog. Okay, right? He called Kristen Stewart in her relation with Robert Patterson a Doug. Right? This is his thing. He just says it all the time. And the media, because they are trying to drive the narrative that maybe the N-word tape is real and he's actually a racist, they're going to pick on that particular comment. Listen, is it bad he says that?
Woman and dog. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yes. Are we surprised?
None of it is shocking in the President Trump sphere.
This is exactly correct. Has anybody's opinion of Trump shifted like an iota in any of this?
Okay, well, I would just say that canine allusions aside, alleged, supposed, purported N-word tape aside, she was the highest-ranking African-American in the White House, and she's now saying she thinks he's a racist, and that we can debate his policy toward minorities, but that part you can't completely take away.
Okay, y'all. Y'all seen it?
Get on the book.
Y'all seen it? It is what it is. Honestly, it's semi-tactful way of calling a woman the B word. And that's what a female dog is. We can look it up at Webster's, and y'all can get SJW sensitive if you want to, but I'm going to just be real with you. Comment in the comment section. I debate you, come on. I do debates too, so, just not just hard-hitting investigation, But I got to the story so quick, I kind of forgot to, to let my people know, give them a shout out and everything, hey, this is Big Ace, and I'm from the Chi. Chi-town, Chi-town, Chi-town. And, this is just terrible. It doesn't make any sense to be, doing this. Because this is actually hurting everybody, and I don't know, sometimes somebody push your buttons, you don't get a chance to be as tactful, but believe it or not, he's calling out a big word, and I'm not going to say it because I want to get monetization for this video, but to quote anybody, when they mad or whatever, you know, it's a way of getting to the truth, like when you're drunk or you're scared. You know, you get real honest, you know, but the accuracy and the feeling of the moment can produce different emotions, you know. And, you know, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. But just want to know what y'all think about this, you know. I'd like to thank my Patreon and, you know, everybody that hit me on my PayPal. I want to thank the people that give me my likes. And I want to, you know, just let everybody know, you know, I'm about to get out of here. And, you know, close it off, you know, shout out, you know, and get up out of here. But again, you know, the links is in the description. You know, hit me up or email me at vman2099@gmail.com. And hey, tell me what you want to talk about. We can debate it. You know, I take the pro or the con. You know, be better if you know what you want to talk about. So let me know when you're in there. Again, this is Big Ace coming from the Shy. Oh, listen. Speaking of the Patreon thing, my people at RaySeanHouseOfBeauty.com, they got this purse with the heart shape. Now, for some strange reason, I can't find the paperwork, but it's a heart-shaped purse. If you just check it out, like it on Facebook, it'll mean a lot to everybody. Check that out. That's another way you can support the show. Different products, you know, tell you, you know. So check them out at RaySeanHouseOfBeauty.com. You know, like them on Facebook, like them on Instagram, and let them know, hey, I sent you. Tell them Big A sent you. Y'all be good now.